Now we just want to give you some information that we have collected about Conifer's history. I said before, Conifer Area Council surveys the Conifer community on a variety of issues and shares results with area residents, community organizations, and relevant Jeffco departments. Our comprehensive community surveys are conducted every 4 years, and then smaller special topic surveys are based on issues raised in the comprehensive surveys. Conifer Area Council uses a variety of methods to gather the community's input in the surveys, including CAC's email list, social media sites, school publications, and community group announcements. The CAC's performed these 4 comprehensive surveys starting in 2006, and then these special surveys. The libraries was the most recent, and there were 560 respondents to this survey. Conifer Library was among the first of the local libraries to join the Jefferson County Public Library system. The Conifer Library has never had its own facility, however. The other 9 libraries have been housed in rented or JCPL buildings from their inception. This table shows all of the libraries when they were first joined Jeffco and when they had their first building or their next building or when they were remodeled. This data comes from 50 Stories for 50 Years, Stories and History of the Jefferson County Public Library from 1952 to 2002. And it also comes from the Jefferson County Public Library Facilities Master Plan, dated February of 2018. Some other facts about the Conifer Library. The Conifer Library became part of JCPL at the request of the Conifer residents in 1954. In 1964, when Conifer's circulation numbers were low, JCPL proposed closing this branch. After 270 Conifer residents protested, the county decided to keep the facility open. In 2011, JCPL again suggested that Conifer, along with the other 2 community libraries, be closed. The Conifer community rallied, formed the Conifer Community Library Committee, and appealed to the Jefferson County Library Board to keep Conifer open. Other options were chosen. The 2020 CAC Library Survey demonstrates the community's continued support of the library and expanded access. For 70 years, Conifer residents have consistently shown a desire to have library access. Conifer currently shares a manager with the Evergreen branch. Conifer should have full representation on JCPL's upper management team in line with other county libraries. Conifer is a distinct community different from Evergreen or Lakewood or any other library service area. In 2011, the Conifer Library Committee reported that the budget for the Conifer Library was less than 1% of JCPL's budget. In 2020, it was 0.41%, less than half of 1%. All Conifer property owners pay the same 4.5 mils in property taxes as the rest of the county's residents to support the library. The Conifer Library Service Area represents 23% of the land area of the county. The numbers that JCPL relies on to measure library interests are distorted by the exclusion of the school day gate count from the daily JCPL count. Students and school staff are JCPL patrons. They must have a JCPL card to check out materials and log on to JCPL computers, website, and databases. They have all the rights and responsibilities of other patrons. Although the Conifer Library is used regularly each school day by JCPL patrons, the exclusion of the school patron numbers results in a lose-lose situation for Conifer. No public patrons allowed and no school patrons counted. community access to the public school libraries. In order to compare Conifer Public Library's community access to other similar library arrangements, we contacted the Colorado State Library Board for a list of shared public and school libraries in the state. We then called each library to learn how they handled public and school hours, their gate count, and whether they have 2 entrances and 2 sets of librarians. All allow public access during the school day, except for Conifer. In some cases, they use separate entrances and limit school access to timed classes or limit students' use during the school hours. Here are the results. And one additional thing is that Fort Lupton Public, you see Fort Lupton Public School, it's a library district, and Fort Lupton has decided that it doesn't work for them to have the public and the school in the same building. So Fort Lupton has decided to build its own public library apart from the school. In the recent library survey conducted by Conifer Council, several respondents suggested moving the Conifer Library to the lower level of the high school and arranging separate entrances for the public and the students. This idea was proposed in September 2019 when the Conifer High School remodel was being discussed. When approached with this suggestion, JCPL rejected the idea. The solution could have solved several concerns, including the large number of steps to access the building and the limited parking. Also, a separate entrance would allow public access during the school day. This inexpensive win-win idea for the school and the community would have provided increased community access until a separate library could be built. February 2018 Jefferson County Public Library Facilities Master Plan, the consultant recommended that JCPL explore opportunities to relocate the Conifer Library to a larger or more accessible space, as well as ASD strategies to enhance service to the community. The consultant recommended that the Conifer Library be relocated and expanded in phase 3 of the project scheduled, which would be in 2030 to 2032. Based on the Conifer Library surveys, Conifer Area Council requests that the timeline to build or acquire a standalone Conifer Library be accelerated and included in the 2025 to 2030 budget plan, and that funds be allocated in the upcoming budget years to bring this to fruition, as was recently done to fund the new South County Library. We ask that JCPL consider the numerous empty retail spaces in Conifer for rent and for sale at a cost savings over building a new structure. We ask that JCPL divide the financial pie differently to enable the Conifer community to realize full library service. And we ask that JCPL combine the public and school gate count. We understand that there are concerns about taking the library out of the high school. All other Jeffco High School libraries obtain funding from the school district. Given the lead time it will take to acquire or build a new Conifer Public Library, there will be sufficient notice for the school district to reach a solution on how to handle the high school library. The community will work with the Conifer High School and Jefferson County Public Schools to ensure that the high school library has the appropriate funding and resources in the event that the public library is moved. Thank you for allowing us to address you with our community's concerns.